Okay, let's just jump right in. I want you to imagine something. Imagine a world where no insult, no criticism, no provocation could ever shake you. A world where your mind is basically a fortress and your inner peace is completely untouchable. Well, that's not a fantasy. It's a state of mental mastery, and this explainer is going to be your guide to getting there.
You know, a lot of people think that being unbothered or never getting angry means you're weak or passive. But that's not it at all. It's actually a deliberate strategy. It's a form of power that comes from mastering your own mind. It's about understanding that real strength isn't about controlling other people. It's about having absolute control over your own inner world.
So, how do we actually build this unshakable mindset? Well, we're going to walk through a 6-step roadmap, what we're calling the 6 pillars of composure. Each one is a crucial building block, and by the end, you're going to have a complete system for becoming mentally invincible. All right, let's start with the foundation, the very first and honestly the most crucial pillar, controlling your perceptions. This is where all power really begins. It's not about changing the world around you, it's about changing how you choose to see it. Just think about that for a second. Every provocation, every nasty comment, every act of malice, it's all fundamentally neutral. It's just an event. It only gets the power to hurt you when you decide to give it a negative meaning, when you let it disturb your peace. You're the one who gives it life.
So here's the key takeaway. Think of your mind as an inner citadel, right? A fortress. The walls are strong, the defenses are solid, but the only way an enemy can ever get inside is if you decide to lower the drawbridge. Well, your perception is that drawbridge. You control who and what gets in.
So, what does this look like in the real world? It means training yourself to just observe things without immediately slapping a judgment on them. So let's say someone insults your work. The fact is, they said some words. The story you might tell yourself is, they think I'm a total failure. But a strategic interpretation? That sounds more like, they're trying to get a rise out of me. What does that say about their insecurity? You see? You separate the event from the emotion. Okay, so once you've secured the gates of your perception, the next step is to manage everything going on inside. And that brings us to our second pillar, mastering emotional detachment. Now let's be clear here. This is not about becoming a robot. Emotional detachment isn't about crushing your feelings down. It's about building armor. You can still feel anger or frustration, of course, but you're no longer a slave to those feelings. You just observe the emotion, acknowledge it's there, and then you choose a response based on logic and strategy, not just pure impulse. So, with our perception and our emotions now under control, we can start looking outward. Pillar 3 is all about using foresight, about understanding the predictable nature of people so you can disarm provocations before they even happen. Look, at the end of the day, humans are creatures of habit. We're often driven by the same old motives: envy, pride, insecurity, you name it. Once you start studying those patterns, you can see people's moves coming from a mile away. And that foresight, it's like a superpower. It turns a chaotic, reactive world into your own personal chessboard where you're always 3 moves ahead. And that flows perfectly into our 4th pillar. Because when you know what other people might do, you can now practice patience and strategic restraint. You can always choose the long-term advantage over that cheap, fleeting satisfaction of an immediate reaction. And here's the huge difference. An emotional outburst, firing back right away, it might feel good for a second, but it's exactly what your opponent wants. It's basically you admitting they got under your skin. But a strategic, calm, logical response, that denies them that satisfaction and lets you turn their little attack into your own advantage. Building right on that idea of a strategic response, we get to pillar 5, and this one might seem a little counterintuitive. It's about using silence, not as an absence of speech, but as one of the most powerful weapons you have. See, when you respond to every little jab, it's a sign of weakness. It shows that other person can control your actions. Silence, though, silence is a declaration of power. It says, your words have no effect on me. My composure is untouchable. It denies them the reaction they're desperately looking for. And, funnily enough, it often makes them reveal even more of their own weaknesses. And now, we get to the final pillar. This is the one that ties everything else together. This is where we create a mindset where your peace and your authority are completely self-contained, totally independent of anything going on outside of you. Self-sovereignty is really the ultimate goal here. It's that deep, unshakable knowledge that your stability, your confidence, it all comes from within. You've basically built an inner empire, a mental fortress so strong that the storms of the outside world, the opinions, the insults, the drama, they just wash up against the walls and do absolutely nothing. So there you have it. That's the whole journey to mental mastery. It starts with something as simple as controlling your perceptions, then mastering your emotions. From there, you learn to anticipate others, play the long game, and use silence as your shield, until you finally reach that ultimate destination, a core of true self-sovereignty.
And I want you to really let this thought sink in for a moment. Anger is a cheap, ineffective tool that, in the end, really only harms the person using it. But true power, the kind that actually commands respect and gets things done, is found in composure. It's the quiet authority of a mind that simply cannot be shaken. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. After everything we've just covered, the answer should be crystal clear. The power over your peace. It's always been with you. It will always be with you. The only real question is, are you going to choose to claim it?